You have a choice to make. Do you want to save money, or do you just want to know that it is theoretically possible to save money? If you only want to know if it's possible, then skip to Module 2, fill out the spreadsheet, look at the bottom line, then come back in 12 months when you want to turn that budget into an actual savings plan. However, if you want more than just a spreadsheet saved to your computer and you want to improve your financial future, then welcome to Module 1 of this e-course. This module is designed to give you the motivation to actually save money and not just keep doing what you've always done and getting what you've always got. And when I say to give you the motivation to save money, I mean the other you, the subconscious you, the you that actually makes decisions, the you that they call the elephant. My name's Matt Boxer, and welcome to Module 1, Set Your Goals. Some of you may know what I'm referring to when I call you an elephant. It is because neuroscientists often refer to decision making as a man riding an elephant. The analogy goes something like this. A human brain is like a man riding an elephant. The man, which is our logical brain, thinks he's in control. He thinks he's giving the directions and he thinks he's making all the decisions. The man and the elephant are walking along the track when the elephant smells water. The elephant decides he wants to cool off and go for a swim. The man knows that there's a nicer watering hole down the road, but the decision has been made. However, rather than the little man admit that he's not in control, he decides to rationalize the decision. It's hot, he would say. The elephant needs a break. The other watering hole's probably busy. He not only pretends that he'd made this decision, he actually believes that he did make the decision all along. Neuroscientists estimate that up to 95% of the decisions we make are by the emotional elephant of the cerebellum and limbic systems, not the part of the brain that is listening and understanding what I'm saying now. This has a real impact on budgeting. Every time you make a financial decision, there is a good chance that the elephant, not the little man, is making the decision. Now, I don't suggest that you try and overcome millions of years of evolution and stop the elephant making a decision. That's probably not possible. What you need to do is you need to motivate the elephant to want the same thing that the little man wants. And you need to do this by setting goals that give you pleasure. The elephant wants to move towards pleasure and he wants to move away from pain. So we have to show him what he gets out of sticking to a budget. What's the pleasure? What's the upside? What's the good things about sticking to a budget? Not just a dollar figure in the bank, but what's the emotional outcome? This is why a good budget starts with goals. Goals have been proven to increase motivation and change behavior. By doing a budget without goals, you're starting a journey without a destination. So that's why Module 1 is about goals. So let's open up the budget spreadsheet, set the destination, and motivate the elephant. To open the budget spreadsheet, the first thing you need to do is download it. So on the Module 1 page, there's a download the budget spreadsheet link. Click that link, open with Excel, and you should be looking at something like this. Basically, this is a disclaimer saying that this is not a substitute for personal advice. If you need personal advice, you really need to sit down with an advisor one-on-one and copyright information. So once you accept the disclaimer, it takes you to the household savings plan sheet. Now, the first thing you need to do is not fill in income and expenses. The first thing you need to do is scroll down to where it says Add Goals. Click on the Add Goals link and it'll take you here. And this is where we're going to fill in our goals, where we're going to start to create the motivation we're going to need to stick to a budget to save money. So the first one isn't so much a goal. It's not a goal that motivates, but it's important because it just removes that underlying level of stress. The first thing you really need to do is have an emergency fund. Have an amount of money that if something was to happen unexpectedly, a medical bill or the car was to break down, you're not going to have to rely on credit cards. You're not going to have to go into debt to fund it. Now, the amount you might need will depend on your situation. You might need $5,000 if you're in fairly stable employment and you don't have fluctuating income. You might need more if your income fluctuates and you've got the capacity to have larger unexpected expenses because you've got children who break things or something like that. So the first thing is to put down the amount required. The next thing is trying to talk to the elephant a little bit. It's to say why you might want an emergency fund. So here you write down, think about it, write down why you need an emergency fund. So that you can deal with small medical expenses, the unexpected, budget appliance breakdowns, and fluctuating wage, whatever it might be for you. And that just gives us a baseline level of comfort that we can start really heading towards goals that are motivating, that are fun. And when it comes to goals that are fun, what you should be putting down are goals that make you happy. Not strategies. Not things like have $50,000 in the bank account. Not buy a rental property. That's meaningless to the elephant. That's not an emotional connection at all. That's more a logical goal. You want $50,000 in the bank. You want a rental property for some underlying purpose, and you really need to articulate that. So when you put in goals, you need to work on goals that make you happy. And the research shows that goals that make people happy are split into 3 separate areas. Goals that make you happy either improve or maintain your relationships, they help you pursue a hobby or a passion, or they help you make a difference in somebody else's life. They're fundamentally the things that drive happiness from the research. So if you want really good goals, try and think of goals that do one or all of those 3 things. So they might be going out to dinner with your spouse or traveling with your spouse. They might be ecotourism. They might be providing your kids education and helping them develop and improve. They might be team sports, being part of a club or a team. All those things are goals that are proven to make you happy. A goal of having a really nice car, it's a goal, but it's actually not going to drive your happiness as much as you might think. So when we go through this, I want you to focus on goals that are going to make you happy. And they're the ones that I want you to put in here. You can put ones like cars, house upgrades, things like that. They are goals. To an extent, people do want to do them and sometimes need to do them. You need to upgrade your car regularly. They're not going to be particularly motivating for the elephant, because subconsciously it's found that people don't derive much happiness from driving around in a really nice car for the longer term anyway. So, to give you some examples, goal number 1, what I've got in is a trip to the Great Ocean Road, to the Barossa. Travelling's one of my passions. Might cost me $3,000, so you put in the cost there, you put in the date. The next thing to really start to motivate the elephant is to have a level of visualization about it, to show some pictures so that when you look at this, your subconscious is seeing a goal, not just your logical brain. So, some pictures of the Great Ocean Road you might grab off the internet, throw on the goals page to give you an idea of what's going on. The next thing you'd want to do is write down the benefits of achieving the goal. Really close your eyes and go, how would achieving this goal make me feel? Would I enjoy driving down that road there and drinking that wine there? And write down what are the benefits of achieving that goal is. Then write down what's the pain of not being able to afford it. How would it feel to not have the money to be able to do that, or to never see that? Another example, which is pursuing a passion or a hobby, is photography. So buying a full frame DSLR camera. So we can add some visualizations there, the photos that it might take, the camera, what the camera might look like, what we can do with that. Next is improving relationships or maintaining relationships, going out to dinner once a month. So we could put that in there. And that the cost is not here because it's actually in the budget. It's a regular expense that's going to happen every month. So if it's an expense that's going to happen every month, or even an expense that's going to happen every year, don't put a cost in. That's going to be as part of your budget that we're going to get to because it's regular. Whereas a camera and a once-off holiday might be irregular. They're the ones that you put expenses next to. Again, the benefits of achieving this goal, put in there, make the elephant think about it, make it have an emotional connection. Really think about why it's important to you and why you want to achieve it. Next, helping others, something that I firmly believe in. And I donate to a few charities. So I put in some pictures there. Again, it's part of my regular monthly donations, so there's no costs associated there because it's going to go in the budget. But visualization, why I want to achieve it, what are the benefits, what is the pain for not achieving that goal. Then a larger holiday, which is going to be a bit further in the future as my budget improves, as the savings improve. 7,500. I'd love to go to Madagascar. One of the best holidays I've been on has been to Africa, but didn't make it to Madagascar. And there's some visualizations on why I want to achieve that and the reasons for it. Again, your goals can be completely different. You might have a car in there. You might have a sporting team, being able to take up a hobby, reconnect with a hobby that you haven't done for a while, help with kids' education, provide tutoring for your kids, or just spend more time, maybe camping trip once a quarter or something like that, so that you can spend some family time together. And then lastly, I want you to put in when you want to slow down work. So you might say, well, I'm 32 now, I want to slow down at age 55. So I want to go part-time at age 55, just slow down how much I'm working, and I want to completely retire by age 60. So this is just giving some time frame to some stuff we're going to do later on. Now, often with retirement, a budget isn't going to get you there. This goes beyond budgeting. But it's important to have this goal in place, because if you don't have a roadmap, if you don't have a destination, you don't know what you should be doing to try and achieve it when you do things like reviewing your superannuation investments. And then put in an income that you might need. So $60,000, by the time you get there, you'll actually need almost $3 million to give you $60,000 a year. So this is the amount of yearly income you require in today's dollars. This then inflates it up and turns it into a lump sum that you can draw $60,000 from. Then you might want to jump on a super calculator and work out what your super is going to grow to and put that in there. And you can kind of get an idea on your shortfall and determine, well, how short am I going to be of my retirement goal? Therefore, how much of my savings might I need to put towards paying down debt? And how much of my savings might I need to put towards retirement? And then I want you to stop and have a think about, is living comfortable in retirement an important thing for you? Is having the dignity to be able to pay for the medical care that you need, to be able to go out to dinner, to be able to buy the grandkids presents? Is that something that's important? And just think about how it would feel not to be able to do those things. Again, this is more feeding the elephant. This is getting the elephant thinking about it, trying to put some an emotional context behind achieving a comfortable retirement. And then you write down what the benefits of achieving that goal are and what the pain of achieving that goal is there as well. So once you've got all that, you've got your goals in place. However, it'll take a little bit of time often for those goals really to sink in and to motivate the elephant. Something that I'd suggest you do is you actually print this off and you hang it on your mirror or on your wall, somewhere private at home, but somewhere that the elephant can see it once a day, where you get those pictures and you look at those pictures and you go, yep, that's something that I want to achieve. That's why I'm saving. That's why I'm going to the cheap Thai restaurant tonight, not going to the nice steakhouse. That's why I went for the more budget expense over the expensive option, because I want to do those things, and those things are more important than having a really expensive meal, or those things are important than buying that really expensive item. So that's it for Module 1. Module 2, what we're going to actually cover off is creating a budget. So to go to Module 2, you basically just go click to Module 2, and I'll see you on the next video.